Hey, RetconRaider here. Today's video is dedicated to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, with special thanks to Revenant, Alois, Anerdinwarpaint, Antonio Hernandez, Dragon Matrix 7, Exsellsior, Lima, Nathan Welch Jr., and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, let's get started. And welcome back to the Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous beta. As we pick up right where we left off last time, exploring these mysterious ruins at the behest of our resident scientist, the, brilliant and not at all insane Nenio. And then after that, we'll head up the road and investigate that inconspicuous camp. Again, not at all suspicious. I'm sure everything will be fine. Anyway, let's get to it. Just trying to keep an eye out for any more of those weird symbols, like the one we found back in the ghoul cave. Oh.
Might be trap, might be treasure.
Well, Jiff, my friend, those are in fact gargoyles. I would say that they are more trap than treasure. Yeah, sadly we could not attack them while they were still landing, so we'll just do this the hard way. Ooh, lost a fair few images there. Creed, Kaiser, you're up. Yeah, that does seem about right. Thank you. You know, the crazy thing here is that Smilos are still actually nerfed in the current build. They're supposed to get 5 attacks when charging.
They will break against our resolve.
Hi there. You guys are a little late to the party. Huh. No damage. Why? What does she have that would give her damage resistance?
Cover me, alright?
Well, doesn't really matter now.
Out of my sight!
The Inheritor, guide my blade.
And thus it ends. Cool. I got a rock. I will say that does remind me of my days of running... Oh, hello there. A plagued bear. I can't imagine this would be too tough. Oh, yeah, we're fine. Is there anyone else? Is there no one else? Ah, there we go. They really kind of de-escalated after those ghouls. All right, let's see what that gets us. Nothing of note. I mean, this would be more useful stuff if we had crafters. Ah, there we go. So that is the same symbol we saw in the Ghoul Cave, but this time the inner circle is blue. Interesting. Well, I guess we will keep an eye out for anything else that... Oh, here we go. Well, that was easy. So, let's see. Yes, okay. Okay. So clearly we need at least one more part of the puzzle. So just, keep your eyes on the walls, I guess. Ghoul corpses. It is as if they simply laid down and died of their own accord. Well, that's certainly a, good sign. And another piece of that puzzle. Nice. You know what, before we mess with these guys, let's go take another crack at that puzzle. Just in case. Oh, but we don't know what the orientation was. You know what, we can just brute force this, that's fine. No? There we go. Phylactery of positive channeling. Yes, please. I have deliberately left Darren's head slot empty in hopes we'd find one of these. As if he wasn't already a ridiculous enough healer. Oh, side note, I did test it, and Spirit Boost is compatible with channeling. It essentially gives the entire party 20 to 30 temporary hit points. Only for 7 rounds, but still. Now let's see what we've got here. Don't mind us, just having a little look-see. Oh, guys? Huh, can we not walk across that circle? Okay, let's try this. That would be why. I am the answer, but what is the question? An elf woman in a frayed robe turns her head to you and stares at you through the slits of her simple white mask. Then she holds out her hand and touches the ancient statue. The absence of an answer is an answer too. Oh, well then. Hey, wait, where are you going? Spontaneous dematerialization is unscientific. Nenio touches the statue and suddenly freezes. Following her example, you put your hand on the statue, and the world around you ceases to exist. You are a lone grain of sand floating in the emptiness of the unknown. Your path has no beginning and no end. You are tiny and insignificant in comparison with the cosmos that surrounds you. But then something changes. The emptiness takes notice of you. It stares at you, measures and assesses you. Then a question comes, as simple and as deep as the emptiness itself. Who are you? What about you? The emptiness does not engage. The question was asked, and it will be answered. Let me out of here. A foolish demand from a grain of sand floating through the eternity. How can one get out of infinity? Damn it. I'm Creed. Creed Ironfang. You hear me? The name you uttered, that seemed so powerful and proud, rings through the emptiness. Then the silence comes, bleak and oppressive. The emptiness still awaits your answer. I am... Do you want to say your name? But what is it? Just a set of sounds you use to associate with yourself. You are Creed Ironfang? Who decided this is who you are? Your parents? Yourself? Someone else? A name is just a label you take voluntarily. What happens if you tear this label off? What hides behind the name, Creed Ironfang? Behold the truth. Open yourself to knowledge. Reveal yourself.
I am Nenio. Nenio. You hear me? You voice from nowhere or whatever you are?
You hear a stifled cough nearby. Where Nenio used to be, now you see an unfamiliar kitsune curled up tight on the ground.
What's going on here? Nenio, is that you?
Seela instinctively lays her hand on her weapon.
Well, I'll be a fox.
Inappropriate? Nenio, is that you?
I am Nenio, the greatest scientist of the modern age, and you are my loyal follower. Why are you asking me such a pointless question?
You're a kitsune.
It appears your observation is correct. I am a kitsune.
Kitsune, okay. The kitsune stares down at her hands, then runs her fingers over her pointy muzzle, lingering over her sharp teeth and ears.
If my hypothesis is correct, and the probability of that is close to 100%, I have always been a kitsune, but at some point I decided to forget that piece of knowledge. Following this line of reasoning, it would seem the fact of my membership of a certain race just doesn't seem relevant to me.
Nenio scratches behind her ear.
Also, there is a more important question. Why did my true identity reveal itself in this precise moment?
She casts a pensive look at the ancient statue towering over you. Wait. How could you possibly forget you were a kitsune?
This question is irrelevant in the current situation. If you wish, you can ask me about it later. If you believe that I've been keeping my true identity a secret on purpose, you are mistaken. I have no interest in your causes, your battles, or your secrets, if you have any. All I need from you is your assistance with my experiments. And with this.
Nenio sweeps her hand in a wide circle, gesturing at the statues around you.
I have no words. Can I just stand here silently and look like I'm thinking something smart?
Well, you could have, but now you've kind of blown that, haven't you? What was that? I found myself in emptiness, and a voice asked me questions.
I suppose it was a trap that yanked our minds out of our plane and temporarily transferred us to another one. I wish I knew which plane. By the way, did you know that the most efficient way to disarm a corridor's worth of magical traps is with the help of a scientist who has been told that the formula for an elixir of the ancient races lies hidden at the end of said booby-trapped corridor?
And my last doubt is dispelled. It truly is her.
You know, I really do appreciate how much they have the other party members interject during these special events. It really makes you wonder what the other people would say in their stead. Like if we had brought Ember or Regil or So-So. It really encourages you to replay through the campaign with different combinations. Whose voice do you think it was?
I haven't the slightest idea. But it is most definitely an extremely wise entity. Besides, the entity displayed no aggressive tendencies, which gives us hope that it can be reasoned with.
So, what do you think about that?
The voice in the emptiness asked me, and judging by your reaction, you too, who I am. And merely stating my name failed to satisfy it. The trap then forced me to assume my true form, which I had completely forgotten about. I suppose this trap wasn't a trap per se. It rather was a closed portal leading to some hidden place that can easily unveil secrets and reveal the truth. The one who spoke to us seemed to solve me like a riddle, in an instant, just by looking at me. I would like to meet this entity. Can you imagine which secrets it can unravel? I want to speak to it, and you, my follower, must help me.
The Kitsune's eyes light up.
But how can you get there? If there is a door, there must be a way to open it. If there's a lock, there must be a key to it. There is an inscription here, right on the statue. I am the void and the emptiness. I am the starting point. I am infinite. Tear my mask off and let it fall at my feet. I don't understand this at all. How thrilling!
Sounds like a riddle.
It does. It really does. I love riddles and puzzles.
Okay, well, how do we solve it?
Each of them is inscribed with a riddle, and each demands that something be placed at its feet. I guess we need some items that represent the answers to these riddles, but don't ask me where we should look for them.
Maybe we should ask one of these geysers?
I don't think they can help us. Looks like all they can do is mumble their mantra about questions and answers.
Why are you so sure that the unknown entity behind the mysterious portal would even want to talk to us?
I'm not sure at all, but we must try. We simply must. Getting there and talking with this entity will be the greatest of my experiments. No exaggeration.
You know, a portal that leads to the unknown could be dangerous.
The world wound is dangerous, walking under a hanging icicle is dangerous, even choking on a chunk of badly chewed food can lead to a fatal outcome after all. Living is dangerous. But what is danger compared to knowledge?
Fair enough. Looks like there's nothing more we can do here now.
With deepest regret, I have to admit that you are right. It's highly unlikely that we'll be able to solve this riddle right here and now. We'll have to temporarily withdraw so we can return when we're armed and ready.
Nenio turns away from the statue. So this has to be Nethys, right? The insane god of magic? Nenio, you seem to be really struggling with that cloak. But, yeah, we had run-ins with Nethys back in Kingmaker, or a run-in, out on the Isle of Vale, I think it was called. The Will-O-Wisp Island. Oh, they didn't even make her a Keen Kitsune? Come on, guys. I mean, Nenio doesn't exactly strike me as the charismatic type. Though I suppose we could be using it as a measure of force of personality, in which case, sure, I guess. She does tend to steamroll people. Charisma as a trait does tend to get a bit muddled in these fantasy games. I suppose this also explains the weirdness of her empty starting feat slot when we first encountered her. I am the void and the emptiness. I am the starting point. I am infinite. Tear my mask off and let it fall at my feet. I am the impetus to act. I am a reason for torture and a cause for insomnia. Fear? I am the unknown. I scare cowards, but reveal my secrets to the brave. I am the end of the road. I am superiority. I am loneliness. Yeah, this has to be Nethys. The sand looks utterly unremarkable, apart from its inexplicable presence here among the ruins and woodlands. I mean, masks are definitely Nethys' thing. That's even what his holy symbol is. But, I'm not sure about sand. There was sand in the vision. Is he associated with, like, hourglasses, maybe? The ruins are so ancient that it is impossible to tell which civilization was responsible for their construction. Alright, well, I guess we'll just have to keep an eye out for odd and inexplicable quest items. Though I imagine that will be well beyond the scope of the current beta, especially not in Act 2. Anyway, let's get back to camp. We'll do a follow-up with Nenio and get some rest. Then we'll head on up the road, see what's next. Oh, hold on. We just spotted something. Aha. Well, nothing all that notable, but we can always use more vendor trash. Yeah, they definitely get the Pathfinder deities a lot more involved in this campaign, for obvious reasons, I suppose. But it is interesting, and it really adds a lot of weight to your choice of deity. I have to wonder if this would have played out differently if we had selected Nethys as our patron deity. Okay, I guess we are headed back to camp. Oh, yeah. Those guys are way too tough for us right now. Oh, you know what? We should scout the road first. Underground hideout. Interesting. Though it's on the other side of the river. Oh, and we appear to have hit an impassable obstacle. Leper's Smile. This canyon cuts through the ground like an open sore. The uneven stones of its cliffs are covered with pits and outcroppings, like the cankered skin of a leper. In the depths of the crevice, there are dark burrows leading somewhere deep into the earth. Well, that sounds like a prime ambush spot. So I guess that's something Creed will have to handle personally. Alright, slight change of plans then. We'll head back to camp, close things out with Nenio, take care of the bookkeeping, get our party swapped back round. And then we will go check out the Leper's Smile. Hopefully we can at least knock out a decent chunk of it. Nenio. She is over here. What? Oh, it's you. So, you're a Kitsune. Nenio tosses you a skeptical look. Stating the obvious does you no credit. How does it feel to suddenly remember that you belong to another race? It is slightly unusual, no more than that. Knowing this fact will not help me write the encyclopedia. Therefore it is useless, therefore I was right to forget it. And to forestall your next question, no, for now I am not planning to forget that I am a Kitsune. My abilities can help you, my loyal follower, in your fight against... whom were we fighting again? Ah, right, the demons. Nenio gives you a magnanimous look. See how much I appreciate your assistance, boy? Yes, I suppose being a fox would help us fight back the demonic hordes. I should try it myself? ? So you really want to meet this mysterious entity? I am sure. I am convinced. Think about all the knowledge hidden there, in the emptiness. It seems to me that this event is certain to be my triumph. The experiment of the century. No, of the millennium. She looks away. Or maybe it will become my downfall. A complete fiasco. Here's the deal. If the mysterious entity decides to gobble me up, run as fast as you can while it's distracted. Tell all of Golarion about the heroic death of its greatest daughter. Tell them she perished, but that she never strayed from the thorny road to knowledge. Nenio sniffs and wipes a tear from her eye. You know what? I think I can manage that. Yes, that does sound like an acceptable deal. Well, Nenio, I must be off. I don't believe we'll be using you for the rest of the beta series, but it's been real. Oh, I wonder if Ember has something new for us. Ember is bobbing her head and humming a tune. She greets you with a carefree, cheerful smile. Her wandering eyes linger on you for just a moment, before darting off again into the distance. How are you handling your new abilities? Abilities? The girl tilts her head to her shoulder. What are you talking about? Oh, the tricks you learned when the big gray house blew up? They're funny. Thanks for teaching them to me. The Queen gave me the title of Knight Commander and put me in charge of an army. What do you think about that? The elf focuses her wandering gaze on your eyes, smiles, and shakes her head. Don't believe titles. All of us in the world are children of the street. Barefoot, hungry, scared, a step away from death. Some imagine they're strong and rich, like gods. But don't forget who you really are, behind the title. Noted. Do the soldiers still rely on you for help? Even more than before. They come to me, ask me questions, wanting advice. I don't think I ever say anything clever, but sometimes it helps them. That's what matters, right? Your words helped me back then, too. I'm still scared that I'm going to say something wrong, but if you believe in me, that means I'm doing the right thing, right? And I believe in our fighters, so they have to win. That's interesting. So that's basically immediate reactivity. We just encouraged her. Like 1 episode ago? 2? and I can't help but wonder how far-reaching the ramifications of encouraging or discouraging her might actually be. Very intriguing. Alright, folks. Let's hit the pause button real quick and I'll take care of the bookkeeping. Maybe grab some quick lunch. We'll be right back. And we're back. Took care of a couple of other things during the break, but I believe we were about to lay siege to the leper's smile. So let's take care of that. Day 17, month Desnus, year 4710. Danger and distress rest heavy upon the scales, their measures soaring on the dangerous march to Dresden. The army marched steadily along the banks of the West Selen, scarred with canyons and ravines. Suddenly, a group of scouts returns. Anevia, the leader of the group, makes two urgent signs to the soldiers: wait and quiet. She dashes through the ranks to the commander, who awaits her report. "We're in trouble," the girl whispers. "The road ahead is split by a canyon. To get to Dresden, we'll have to go down and then up the other side. But the canyon is swarming with foul creatures. Vescavors. A real pain in the neck. They won't shy away from our soldiers' weapons, and they've already managed to gobble someone up. Looked like a caravan of refugees from Canabris that lost its way. No one has ever reported Vescavors so far from the center of the world wound. Where did they come from?" Anevia bites her lip. "They still haven't noticed us, but that won't hold true for long. Maybe if we retreat quietly." The commander makes a sign for her to stop. "And find out what else is known about the enemy." "Those nasty little critters, they can ruin your gear and drive you nuts with their buzzing," Anevia says in a rush. "They got a queen, the mother of the whole swarm. She's a right horror, but if we kill her, the bulk of the swarm will scatter, and we'll take the rest of them somehow." After hearing his scout's report, the commander prepares to convene a council to determine a plan of action. The commander and his companions convene a field council. The army cannot march around the obstacle, for there is no other road. Retreat is far too risky. Should the swarm notice the army and catch it out in the open, no one would survive. None utters the word trap, but fear hangs in the air. A swarm of omnivorous beasts just happens to be in the army's path? Someone has arranged this for their own nefarious ends. Rustling, grating, squeaking, humming. Everyone hears the voice of the swarm, though the sky before the army remains clear. For now. How long until it is darkened by the flying spawn of the abyss? An idea, a decision, straight and sharp like a soldier's sword, appears in their minds. The Crusader Council grows grim. One unit must act as live bait to lure the swarm out of the canyon and clear the path to the Vescavor Queen. The commander will rush the monster, killing her quickly, before the swarm decimates the army. They will get but one chance. A dark question looms. Who will lead the fateful squad and be consumed as bait? In moments of extreme stress, one often says one thing while meaning quite another. These hidden words often reveal many a curious thing. And what do we see here? Irabeth nobly states, "I am an officer best suited for the mission." But in truth, she means, "I cannot burden another with my responsibility." "Creed, send me!" Nura the historian emerges with an unexpected suggestion from behind the commander's back. This is just the sort of situation where ingenuity and knowledge of the enemy will be more useful than swords and armor. While she speaks, she thinks, "I need to prove myself." The queen is yet to disclose her presence and watches quietly from a distance. The commander looks into the faces of his companions. The Hell Knight Regil steps forward. "My people will fight to the last, even as the swarm tears through our armor and strips the flesh from our bones." But his motives are clear. My superiority over the Crusaders will not permit me to cower behind them. I've eaten so many bugs in my life, it's only fair to give them a chance at revenge. The mongrel, Lan, hides his fears in plain sight. I'm a dead man walking already. A life such as mine is worthless. And silently, he begs for more. Sacrifice me, or give me a chance to prove myself. The ones who distract the swarm will need a healer. So is the only one who speaks plainly. A healer might bring a few through the Vescavors alive. The rest of the council remains silent, and this silence is filled by a chorus of, "There are others better suited," and "The commander needs me alive." Does the commander hear these unspoken words? What will they lead him to decide? The fateful troop will be led by... Well, that is a very good question. There do appear to be a number of viable options here. I mean, I'm not sure what Lan would do. Or Irabeth, for that matter. I mean, they're both eager to prove themselves, but haven't really presented a plan. But I think more importantly, we have to remember that Creed is an aspiring Azada. He is embracing personal choice and freedom. So we don't have to just consider the person volunteering, but also the people who'd be working under them, which really leans me towards Regil, because the Hell Knights are nothing if not fanatically loyal to their cause. The commander and his party disappear among the rocks, preparing to slip down into the canyon, while the swarm is distracted by their bait. A tight-lipped Tenevia shows the way. Behind them, the final preparations are being made. The face of Paralictor Regil is hidden by his helm, as are the faces of his troops. But Hell Knights can radiate disdain, even through plate armor. They march forward boldly, holding torches and vials of acid in place of blades. The soldiers tread fearfully down the road, toward the edge of the canyon ahead. The rift that yawns open before them whispers, rasps, rattles in thousands upon thousands of voices. Vescavors gather below, but the sky is open above them, and the flying creatures might rise up and attack at any moment. The soldiers soon find the first body, the mangled corpse of a refugee from Canabris. A few straggling Vescavors wriggle inside the dead man's gaping chest. Tiny larvae with greenish shells, all shuffling legs and hinging jaws. They don't seem menacing at all. But then, the rasping noise stops for a moment, and a high, vibrating note pierces the air with new force. The blur of a blackish-green cloud rises above the canyon. The swarm has taken the bait. The time to act has come. The leader of this fateful squad shouts that they shall allow the swarm to attack a few victims, then strike. Regil selects a few of his knights, who wear the strongest adamantine armor, and sends them forward. These chosen fighters approach the edge of the canyon with cavalier dispassion, inviting the swarm to fall upon them and cover them like a living carpet. The first of them falls immediately, in a fit of terrible screaming. The Vescavors have found their way through the visor of his helm, and are drilling inside, one by one, consuming the unlucky man's face. But the next moment, the remaining forces surge forward, closing their distance and throwing vials of acid on the insects. The swarming cloud thins slightly. The Hell Knights retreat and regroup, each time throwing their best protected warriors into the path of the swarm's attacks. The other soldiers watch their masterful work with admiration, sending up cheers of encouragement. Temporary success holds no true hope for the fateful troop. Their foe is no great beast, but 1,000,000 ravenous creatures, bringing with them the eternal hunger of the abyss. To fight them was to cry upon the wind. Their only hope was to rely on their commander, and hope that he was preparing to slay the Swarm Queen. What was happening down in the canyon at that very moment? Oh good, this sounds like it'll be a fun adventure. Alright, let's hit the pause button while I get a full set of buffs running. No reason for you to watch me click buttons for 3 minutes straight. And it is done. Let us proceed. Spots of light and shadow dance along the walls of the canyon. High above your head, a swarm gathers, dark as a rain cloud. There are so many Vescavors that they block out the sun. Luckily, you've escaped the attention of the swarm, which is focused upon the troops you're using as bait. For now, at least. With a tired gesture, Anevia wipes the sweat and dust from her forehead. There's anxiety in her eyes. Commander, the beast we've come for is on the other end of the main corridor. There's a lot of burrows and plenty of beasts in them, but you better not delve too deep. Our people won't hold out long enough for us to clear the whole area. On the other hand, I saw the bodies of some poor caravanners down in one of the side holes. They have some valuable stuff on them. The bugs will eat anything we don't grab. They can't tell the difference between flesh and steel. Wait, so they're eating all the treasure while we're standing around talking? What are we hanging around for? Come on, there's no time to lose. Did you manage to find out where these beasts came from? I'm not sure, but there are clear signs of a ritual closer to the queen bug's lair, and they're fresh. Maybe somebody summoned the scum specially for us. The demon filth figured out that we're never going to let Canabras go. Too bad we don't have a magic specialist who could figure out what those runes mean. Can you tell me anything useful about the monster? I've never fought these before, so I don't know much. She's a nasty beast. She spits acid and summons her spawn from all around the area. One more thing. When I tried to get closer, I started feeling sick as a dog. I guess like a lot of demons, she knows how to get inside your head. Well, great. Huge, hungry, head-spinning, acid-spitting bugs. And I thought the Crusades were all about the pretty armor and the tasty rations, and sometimes saving beautiful maidens in white dresses from dumb demons. Sorry, Lan. Alright, people. Let's move. Good luck. I'm right behind you, covering your back. I'll catch up when it's time to deal with the Queen. And here we go. Now, she said the far side of the canyon, so I am guessing that means the northwest corner here. As far as I'm aware, the way this works is the faster you get to the Queen, the less casualties and morale penalties your army will suffer. There are a lot of optional treasures and distractions scattered around. You can maybe afford to go for one or two of them, but if you go for everything, you will lose your army. This is a very unforgiving scenario. Okay. Oh, shoot. Hold back, Waldiff. Yeah, we only have room for one person to charge, so we'll want it to be someone who hits a little harder than Waldiff. You can't sneak attack a swarm. Is that going to put her right inside the swarm? Because that would be terrible. Fingers crossed. Okay, good. You had me worried there for a moment, Wrath. There was some hinky behavior with swarms in one of the earlier builds, so you can never be sure with these things. Ah, shoot. Forgot to mount up with Creed. Or... no, wait. Well, that's fine. Didn't have a clear charge path anyway.
I will see to your demise. Ha!
Oh, and that works. Oh, but Kaiser is confused. Shoot, how long does that last? We are not well equipped to deal with mind-affecting abilities. I'm not seeing it. Oh, it already wore off. Well, that's certainly convenient. Alright, saddle up, Creed. And let's figure out which way we're going. This way? Huh. I honestly cannot tell. I'm really hoping we don't have to fight too many of these things. Nice. Waljiff's confused.
Precision and grace.
We'll just make a point to stay out of dagger range.
Stab you or zap you. Why not both?
Oh, I'm not gonna lie. I know they're going for scary, but that looks like something out of an 80s Ghostbuster cartoon. That'll do. Thank you, Ember. Oh, come on. All right, let's get in there. Excellent. Our entire front line is confused. That is what I was going for.
I'll make short work of this.
Oh, nice. That does make things easier. I'm actually amazed we're still getting occasional use out of Abrupt Force. That thing's got a save DC of like 10. At some point, we really do need to find something better.
I shine in all endeavors, even failed ones.
Yes, thank you, Darren. You're great. Disgusting slime that gives off a vile, rancid smell. Do with that what you will. Oh, good. Okay, so we did go in the right direction. I think we're headed this way. The bottom of the canyon is split by a narrow crevice, about one stride across at its widest. It's easy enough to jump over, or in places, even step across. The obstacle doesn't seem a problem, or even particularly notable. But as you draw closer, you hear a terrible droning sound coming from the crevice. It seems to be howling, as if it's alive. You stare into the darkness of the void, trying to make out where the strange sound is coming from. Not all at once, but your eyes pick out the contours of a body in the darkness. Someone small, perhaps a gnome, a halfling, or a child, rolled up in a ball at the bottom of the chasm, under a stone ledge. He's crouched down, his head to his knees, and he's hugging his legs tightly. It appears to be one of the caravanners caught by the swarm. He's crying aloud, one continuous tone, and it strengthens as it echoes through the crevice, building into something truly haunting. Answering your voice, the caravaner looks up. It's a young halfling. The light coming from above reveals a pale, wounded face. Vescavors still wriggle in the poor fellow's eye sockets. A moment later, the halfling drops his head again and continues to cry. He hasn't the strength to do more. We can't abandon him. He's still alive, and the living must be saved. If only I had a rope, I'd pull him out in no time. Well, obviously we're not leaving him there, though it will come at some cost. Oh boy, I do wish we had better odds, though. Oh, thank goodness. Not without effort, you manage to clamber down to the bottom of the crevice, tie the halfling with a rope, and pull him up. He doesn't resist, but he's little help either, dangling helplessly like a puppet. The Vescavors inhabiting his eye sockets seem to have eaten their fill, and you easily pull them out and crush them. Their victim sits on the ground and continues to cry, and the sound begins attracting unwanted attention. You hear the humming of disturbed Vescavors above. A mass of them separates from the main swarm and flies towards you.
Can we retreat already?
No good deed, etc., etc. Okay, this actually doesn't look that bad. Oh, and that's our whole back line confused. Plus Sela, apparently. Lovely. One down. Ember. Ember, I hate to say it, but I am slightly disappointed. Sorry. Okay. Guys, you were killing me. Come on.
No glory without risk.
The halfling you pulled from the crevice didn't move at all as you fought the onslaught of Vescavors. He's still lying on the floor, crying. Just hold tight. I'll heal you and come back for you later. Magic can heal the caravaner's wounds, but not his mind. For now, there's nothing more you can do for him. He seems scarcely aware of your help, and his crying and shrieking continues. A moment later, you hear another scream from overhead. Leaning precariously over the ledge of the crevice above, one of your men falls to the bottom and dies upon the rocks. The other soldiers, now serving as bait, are up there, desperately fighting for their lives. And yours. Well, that does feel like a bad idea, but what else can we do here? Drag him into a fight with a Vescavor Queen? We'll just have to hope Anevia picks up the slack. Okay, let's get Resist Acid going. Anevia specifically mentioned the Acid Spit. And here we go. There's the ritual circle, so the queen must be near. There it is. The Vescavor Queen. Just $14.99 at your local KB Toys. Comes with a summoning ritual playset and a tube of non-toxic slime.
You've crossed the wrong line. Let's have fun.
Wow. Exceptional opening volley from Lan.
Out of my sight.
Nice, nice. Seal is confused. Too far. Oh. You know, I really just kind of assumed these things were immune to slumber. What with being insects and all. But I guess they are also demons, so yeah. Though I imagine the swarms would have still been immune. Ooh.
I will see to your demise.
Zila hurt herself in the confusion. Well, that didn't work. Oh boy. Sorry, Kaiser. Yeah, we need to end this. Fast.
Distract them for me.
Fast it is. Thank you, Waljif. Unleashing her last shriek, the Swarm Queen slumps to the ground. Immediately, as if by magic, the distant sounds of battle begin to subside. Several small beasts sit on their mother's body, sinking their mandibles into it. The canyon drowns in the waves of scent, a sweet soporific with a hint of bite, like the crackle in the air before a storm. Ugh, I can't breathe. I need some fresh air. Get me out of this disgusting hole. Agreed. Mind you, I've had cause to see holes a good deal more disgusting than this in my time. Darren laughed suggestively. But they were few and far between. Gross. Sela looks at Darren in confusion, and a second later bursts into giggles. Have the fumes gone to your head count? Look at you, cracking jokes like the worst kind of bod. Lan looks askance at the queen's carcass. The mongrels in the caves under Canabris could eat that, I guess. Anevia approaches the queen's body and grins. That's it, you filth. No more flying. It's good we got rid of her without suffering more losses. Just a little longer and we'd have been forced to bury lots of our fighters in this cursed land. Suddenly, Anevia stops. Her nostrils flare and her eyes scan the floor and walls of the canyon. She squats, pokes at some lumps of slimy substance, lifts them up and looks more closely, smells them, and cringes. Anevia, is something worrying you? Aha! Anevia rubs a ball of greenish slime in her hand. I'd bet my life that your gear had this nasty stench when we were entering the canyon. I saw the queen bug spraying it around to summon her spawn to her. Alright, let's see if we can find the source of that smell among my equipment. You and Anevia search through your things and quickly find the source of the smell. A thin handkerchief. Looks like it's been soaked in something like the Swarm Queen's slime. I'll be damned. When the Queen was spraying the sweet-smelling goop around, the swarm flew to it like flies to jam. The chewed-up bodies of the caravanners smelled like this too. I checked. Commander, I think some rat planted that handkerchief on you to ensure that the Vescavors would find you. Creed Ironfang, tagged for assassination already. Our commander's all grown up. Despite his airy tone, Darren looks discomfited. I thought this crusade couldn't get any worse, but now we have a mysterious traitor who's trying to feed us to a swarm of repulsive insects. And there I was, thinking you'd be the first in line to feed me to some repulsive bugs. No, my dear Creed. I have standards. What's more, my feelings toward you may be quite, tumultuous, but not altogether negative. So if I were to feed you to some insects, I guarantee that they would be the most sublimely beautiful creatures you'd ever seen. Is this flirting? This is weird, right? Darren, buddy. Okay, fine. Oh, well, in that case, the least I could do in return is to ensure that the swamp I drown you in meets your exacting aesthetic standards. There may even be flowers. Darren laughs. We understand one another surprisingly well, don't we? Touché. Anyway, so clearly someone is trying to kill us, but Creed is a trusting person. He tends to err on the side of optimism. Clearly the demons did this. They placed this swarm in our way and made sure I couldn't avoid the ambush. I agree. They never expected a defeat in Canabris, nor our quick march to Dresden. Now they're throwing everything they can at us to stop our advance, including their oversized pet bugs. Anevia cringes. Anyway, we need to keep our eyes open. That handkerchief could have been planted here by magic, but take it from a professional paranoiac. I think we've got a rat in our camp. In Canabris, we squashed the cultists time and time again, but they were like maggots in a dead hog. Some could have infiltrated our forces too. We have to keep our eyes open and our guard up. It's time we got back to our people. I say we destroy the Queen's body. I've heard the little bugs who eat the flesh of their mother can be reborn as swarm queens themselves. That's kind of the last thing we need, right? And that, of course, is the first step towards unlocking the Swarm That Walks path. Though, in our case, obviously of no interest. I think Queen Galfrey blocks it anyway. Fine, Anevia. Get rid of the beast's body. Great. Cleaning up after a fight is just what I like. We'll start here, and little by little, we'll clean up the entire world wound. Anevia, Commander, what a relief, you're alive. I saw the swarm begin to thin and ran to you immediately. She pauses to catch her breath. Regil approaches and places his hands in their habitual place behind his back. Commander, my squad performed the distraction maneuver as planned. I knew I could rely on you. What happened up there can't be described in words. But you were the one who carried the day, Creed Ironfang. Luckily, our losses are not as great as we feared. Not many are even wounded, but if you'd been a moment later, I'm afraid to imagine what might have happened to us. Unfortunately, the insect's acid ruined what was left of the caravan. Of course, I sympathize with those who perished, but we could have used their gear. How did this caravan even come to be here? This is no place for civilians. They lost their lives for nothing, and they didn't even leave anything useful behind. Yeah, what a waste. We could really do with some supplies. If only they died on the road somewhere, of thirst, or after meeting some wild animals, we'd be sitting pretty right now. Really? Really, Waljiff? Come on, man. I couldn't let my people die while I was looting corpses that the bugs had left behind. What matters is that everything's over and we won. What are we going to do now? Since you're here, please take a look around. I found some painted runes and the traces of something that seemed like a ritual. We need to figure out what this is. Ha! Easily done. Nura leans over the magic symbols painted on the stone. I'm no mage, unfortunately, but I'm in the habit of thoroughly documenting all descriptions of rituals and symbols from magic books, especially demonic ones. Someone very recently opened a portal to the abyss here, and summoned someone. It's not difficult to figure out who they summoned. She's lying dead right over there. I can guess who carried out the ritual. Handwriting is unique, even when it comes to runes. I examined the Grey Garrison after your success, documenting everything I found for Queen Galfrey. And I'm sure that the hand that drew the rune circles was the same in both instances. It's the work of the same spellcaster. Looks like this spellcaster is afraid of us and dares not fight us openly. Of course he's afraid. Nothing he can set on us will ever be scarier than the swarm. He's just played his last hand and lost. Well, since we finished off the swarm and we know someone is giving us trouble, I suggest we get out of here. I'm done with bugs. Okay. Yet another obstacle has been removed from our path. Though we do still have some offshoot paths to explore here. Oh, and what looks to be an optional lower level. We'll definitely check that out. A huge runic circle has been drawn on the rock, probably with blood. And yet another magic bow. Hunter's Assurance. +3 bleed composite short bow. Inflicts a stacking -1 penalty to AC per crit. Interesting. But we don't really have anyone who's geared for composite short bows, so that's likely just vendor trash. Plus, let's be honest, by the time you start landing crits with a bow, the target is probably dead or dying anyway. There's our emergency exit. Alright, folks. We have run a bit long today, so I think this makes for a pretty good break point. We'll hit the pause button for now. I'll make sure we're ready for more exploration, and then we will pick up here next time, as we complete our exploration of the Leper's Smile and continue on up the road. The inconspicuous camp awaits. See you then. Oh, and remember, although I do love playing Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous. You can find out more about the game by visiting the official website, the official social media feeds, or the official store pages. And if you'd like to help support the channel, feel free to push the buttons that do the things, or maybe even check out the Patreon. Links are in the description.